Hi guys, so welcome to another episode of Introduction to Python for Data Science, and today on this series we're going to be talking about sets. In the previous video we have introduced sets. You can see Python sets. Now we're going to do a bunch of things. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to look at how we access elements in sets. Then we are also going to look at how we can change and add items to sets. So we're just going to be going one step at a time with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the sets we created. If you look over here, we have the lists and numbers and we have names. So I could just simply say names and sets. So we have this. Then we also have numbers. So we have lists, which we turn to numbers and apparently in sets. Now, it's an interesting thing because sets do not allow you to slice, right? So you can basically slice or access like individual members of the sets. Instead, what you can do is you iterate. So I'll document this. Sets they don't allow for slicing. No, so instead sets allow for iterations. So they allow for iterations. So you can iterate through them. So that makes it easy. And to iterate, we're possibly going to be using like a loop to do that. So, but just for now, we'll just use a loop, but the loop isn't what we're covering at this point. So again, if we have a set, for instance, you can say, here's what a for loop looks like. You have a for keyword. Then there's something called an iterator variable. It's an what term am I going to use for that? It's a temporary variable. So I'll just say for names in names, so which is basically has the names underscore set, and we put a full colon so we can create a program which will be indented under this. This is an indentation. Then we can basically print the names. So you can see that we're printing the names. So say for names, which this you see is it's basically a temporary variable, but basically trying to iterate through what's in here. And then if we run this, basically all the names are inside there. So that's basically what that is. Now the next thing we want to do is we could modify, or we could modify the items inside the set. So here again, we say let's modify slash change slash add items to a set, right? Now let me make it a capital letter, to a set. So I'm basically going to bring this as a markdown and I'll run this, right? Now how do we do that? Now to do that, we can see again that there are functionalities that a set has. So if we use this dir, then I put names underscore sets inside, I'm going to see a bunch of stuff come out. Now you see a bunch of stuff. We just ignore the dunder methods and then we go to this. You can see that a bunch of stuff we can do with it, right? So we're going to be looking at the add. See this? We're going to look at this. I'll put this here. Then what else are we going to look at? Then I'm going to look at updates. So this is the two things we're going to be looking at. So right, so these are functionalities. We're going to look at add and updates. Right now, so what do we do? So we want to add items into our name set. So what we're going to do is we're going to say names underscore sets, which has our names. Then we use the dots or we chain it, and we chain the add to it. And then inside we're going to add some other stuff. So we're going to look inside. What do we have here? So what do we add to it? So let me add Toby. Right, so once I do that and I call names set, then we've added Toby to it. So you can see that we added that. Pretty easy, pretty simple. You just use the add method and you've added stuff. But now we want to do some different. Now you can see if I possibly, let me see, hold on, let me document a little bit of it here. So here, so adding an item to the set. Now again here, so let me just add a few other cells. Nice. So again here, I probably want to add another stuff. So I go names, sets, and then I use the add method. And so here I add, say I want to add a few other names. So I say I add Tony, and then I add Gideon. So you see, he says, and the type error says set.add takes exactly one argument, but I had given two. And so how's that going to work, right? So I'm going to introduce the update, and which is over here. So you see, I was just trying to be cheesy there, you know, introducing an error so to give us an entry for update. So again, so what I'll probably do now is I'll take this, and then here I just basically add update. And with update, you can see now that update makes it easy to add more than one element, so which multiple items. So the add method doesn't work for multiple yeah, it doesn't work for multiple items. Yes, and here the update method works for multiple items. So you need to add multiple items. That works. So let me make it items here. And so again, so I put names, sets, and you can see we've added to it. What did I do? What is happening? Okay, so with the update, it seems like, again, I made a mistake. So look at what I did. Did you notice that? I should have put square brackets here, because that's why it's looking weird. So you can see that it's added, but the other ones are already there. So again, what we should have done is, so again, I'm going to correct this. I'm going to call this names underscore sets, and then I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to copy all this, guys. I'm going to copy all these guys here. So I could create that. So I basically overwrite what I have before. And so we have names underscore sets. So we have, see what happens when we make errors, right? See this? So now this guy disappears. So when we call it again now, it looks, yeah. So names underscore sets, right? So again, we can call this. Now we want to now add the same thing here. Look at this. So we copy this again. So this should work. And so we have names underscore sets, and boom. So yeah, so we made a little bit of error somewhere here initially, but we have sorted that out. So again, what we did here is we looked at how to modify add items, but first we just did a little bit of accessing items in the set, And then here we modified items and we looked at a couple of functionalities. Then we used the .add method. You can use it to just add an item, while we used the update method. At first there was a little error, but sorted that out. So that's sets. Now as we proceed, we're going to get to a point where we're doing these videos or where I'm dropping all these ideas and lessons, and we're going to start looking at how we can put them through real life application. But for now, let's learn this one object at a time. Like, subscribe, share with your friends and enemies.